senior marshals and the graduates. University of Maryland Gonfalon and student speaker Jacob Lowenstein. Graduate School, Jamal Gross. Information Studies, Caroline McHugh. Architecture, Planning and Preservation, Samuel Brimmer. Undergraduate Studies, Natalia Redekina. Agriculture and Natural Resources, Ayala Milo Moskowitz. Public Policy, Olga Redekina. Education, William Lee. Journalism, Jacqueline Weber. Public Health, Sana Heather. Arts and Humanities, Jasmine Watkins. Engineering, Jacob Hogan. Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences, Saskia Terhayden. Behavioral and Social Sciences, Austin Burdett. Business, Robert Walton. Graduates, a reminder to please be seated as soon as your row is filled. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the faculty and staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the platform party for your 2016 Winter Commencement. Everyone, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, presiding over these exercises is Dr. Wallace Lowe, President of the University of Maryland.
Good evening. Welcome to the 2016 Winter Commencement exercises of the University of Maryland. And a special welcome to our graduates and to the family and friends of our graduates. Commencement marks the start of a new chapter in the lives of our graduates. This ceremony is a wistful farewell, spoken in words of endearment by the university to our graduates, and by the graduates to their alma mater. We will begin with a moment of reflection delivered by Mr. Tarif Shraim, the University of Maryland Muslim chaplain. His remarks will be followed by the singing of the national anthem led by the Marcus Bowles, a senior in music performance, and accompanied by the Maryland Wind Ensemble conducted by Mr. Craig Potter. Would you please stand and remain standing for the moment of reflection and our national anthem.
Today is a very special day. It's a day in which we come to celebrate with joy your accomplishments, the accomplishments of our 2016 graduating class. Today, we come deeply mindful that we couldn't be here without the help of our parents, teachers, mentors, and friends. May we forever embrace them with their well-deserved respect, appreciation, and affection. Let us remember today that there is something good behind all that happened in our lives, even our seeming losses, hardships, and pains. You and I may not see those meanings now, but let us be patient, for time shall make all things clear. As we look ahead, may we recognize that our lives can't magically change, that in order to accomplish things we've never accomplished, to become people we've never been, we must make sacrifices we've never made and do things we've never done. As we continue to grow, may we recognize that when our journeys are finally over, we will individually be measured not by our titles or wealth, but by the quality of our character, the number of lives we've touched, and the good we brought into our families, communities, and the world. Let us all remember today that the best gift you and I can give to anyone is our time, our compassion, and our encouragement. May we never ever deprive all those who are around us from such gifts before it's too late. May we live gratefully, and may we have the wisdom to put to good use our youth before we become old, our health before we fall sick, our free time before we become too busy, and our lives before we die. Today, let none of us here forget some of life's most powerful lessons, that everything you put out into the world is going to come back. That if you want things to change for you, then you, yes you, have to change. May you all leave this place with an absolute commitment to continue growing and helping others grow. And may everything and everyone we come across be blessed by our touch, our smiles, and our grateful presence. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Schramm, for your thoughtful words of reflection. And thank you, Marcus Bold, for your inspiring rendition of our national anthem. And of course, thank you to University of Maryland Wind Ensemble. Now, seated on the front rows here at Xfinity are about 20 seniors who are serving as marshals this evening. They are outstanding students nominated by their respective colleges because of their academic accomplishments and contributions to campus life and their leadership. So I'm going to ask the student marshals to stand to be recognized, and also their parents and family You know who they are. Would you also please stand up while we recognize our student marshals? Thank you. I also want to thank all the staff and faculty who have come here this evening to join in honoring our graduates. They include, of course, some of our coaches and our commanders of ROTC, Army, Navy, and Air Force. You are the lifeblood of this institution. You carry out the missions of service and education and research. This university is what it is because you of the faculty and staff. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here tonight. Now, you know, as with any commencement, there are a number of speakers. And I had a friend who is I have a friend who is a Irish priest. And he once shared with me some wisdom about commencement speakers. He said, Wallace, just remember that a speaker at commencement is like the body at an old-fashioned Irish wake. They need you to have the party, but nobody expects you to say very much. So we will all be mindful of that advice, myself included. We shall be mercifully brief in what we say. So that said, our first speaker is a regent of the University System of Maryland, Bob Rauch. He is a TERP, a civil engineer from Easton, Maryland, that's in Talbot County. And what you should know is, so he came here, he got his degree in civil engineering. He met Dale, a fellow student, and they got married at Memorial Chapel. They have 2 children, and one of them is Casey, the other one is Dustin, and both of them also graduated in engineering. So this is a family that bleeds black and gold and red and white. Please join me in welcoming Regent Rauch, who will bring greetings from the University System of Maryland Board of Regents.
Well, after that introduction, I'm going to have to throw away 2 pages here, but it truly is a pleasure to be here. President Lowe, Chancellor Corrett, distinguished guests, family and friends, and most of all, graduates. I am truly pleased to be here with you today to celebrate this great day. It's an honor to be here and recognize President Lowe's leadership and his strong commitment for academic excellence, cutting-edge research, internationalization efforts, diversity, and community outreach. He has made Maryland's flagship institution one of the nation's foremost public universities in this country. I'm also pleased to join your commencement speaker, David Baggett, founder and president of ARCODE Corporation, and a proud University of Maryland graduate as well. And we all look forward to his comments. And of course, I'm delighted to be here with you, the members of the graduating class. Today, you graduate from an exceptional institution, a university with an outstanding faculty, university with world-class academic programs, a university whose graduates are being prepared for both outstanding careers and impactful lives. Speaking to you now as a proud University of Maryland College Park graduate, say more years ago than I'm willing to really admit to, my University of Maryland graduation ceremony was held, this is an anniversary of it, was held at Cole Fieldhouse. It's obvious to everyone that Cole Fieldhouse is undergoing some amazing changes. Since then, the University of Maryland's reputation of excellence in higher education has also continued to grow and reach new heights in national prominence. Now, my parents and I were unfortunately not able to attend the ceremony and celebrate the incredible honor to graduate from this outstanding university. It is an outstanding university, isn't it? It's important, though, for all graduates to remember that in addition to the hard work that we put into getting our degrees, our parents also made sacrifices and dedicated time and resources to give us the opportunity to get the best education possible. This is as much a celebration for them as it is for you, and I'm honored now to have a chance to share with you and your families this extraordinary day of achievement. University of Maryland takes great pride in serving as an integral part of the social, cultural, and intellectual life of the community with a sincere commitment to service. It's my hope that you'll take that knowledge and ability you gained here and help make the community around you and the world around you a better place, that you will do good as you do well. Once again, congratulations to all of you, and know that the entire University System of Maryland family wishes you all the best in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Rauch. Thank you also for your service and your support to the University of Maryland. Now, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party who are seated behind me. And as I call each person's name, I ask him or her to please stand. And I ask you, the audience, to please refrain from applauding until all of them have been recognized, or else we'll be here till midnight. Robert Carrette, Chancellor of the University System of Maryland. He is a chemist, and thank you so much, Chancellor Carrette, for being here at this graduation. Robert Rauch, he's already been introduced. And another regent, James Holtzapfel. Now, you should know that Regent Holtzapfel, he also is a Terp. He got a Bachelor's of Science degree from this university. But what you may not know, and I think you might be interested to know, that his grandfather got a Bachelor's of Science degree from this place in 1893. And then his father, Norman, graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree from this university in 1940. And by the way, his grandfather was also chair of the Board of Regents, and I'm sure his grandfather is looking down so proudly at his grandson today, who is on the Board of Regents. That's not it. Regent Holtzapfel today has in the audience his son, James, who's getting an MBA from the Smith School. James, where are you? Don't be bashful, stand up, there is James. Break the rule. Everybody applaud the Holtzapfel family. No, I'm a lawyer. I know what I do. Rules are made to be broken. Mary Ann Rankin, Senior Vice President and Provost. She's a biologist, and just last spring, she was inducted as a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, one of the highest academic honors in this country. Linda Clement, Vice President for Student Affairs. She got her PhD at Maryland, another Terp. Guess how long she's been working here? 42 years. 42 years. But that's not the record. Somebody else has the record on this platform. Carlo Colella, Vice President for Administration and Finance, and he's a Terp, got his degree in civil engineering here, and he's the guy who's responsible for all the mess and the construction going around this campus. He has been here for 28 years serving the University of Maryland. Amitabh Varshney, the Interim Vice President for Research. He's a professor of computer science, and his expertise is virtual and augmented reality, the reality that all of us will be living in the 21st century. Michael Podarella, Vice President and General Counsel. There he is, in blue. I mention him because He and I are the only two lawyers in the administration team, but you should know he's a real lawyer. Me, I'm a public interest lawyer. It's in the public interest that I don't practice law. The Vice Chancellors of the University System of Maryland, Joanne Bauman, Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and she is a medical geneticist. Leonard Rayleigh, Vice Chancellor for Advancement, and he used to be a Vice President for Advancement here at the University of Maryland. Kevin Anderson, I don't know that he's here tonight. Oh, there you are. Kevin Anderson, Director of Athletics. He is the person in charge of the front porch of this university. That is the portion that everybody sees, and well, that is the front porch of the university. I thought you would be in Baltimore watching the basketball game. Okay. We will be sending good karma to our team. I hope somebody is following on Twitter and finds out what the score is and they can relay it to me. Wanda Alexander, President of the Maryland Alumni Association. I'll say more about her in a moment. Amy Eichhorst, the Executive Director of the Maryland Alumni Association. Catherine Swanson. Where is Catherine? She's way in the back. Catherine is the President of the Student Government Association. She's a senior in government and politics, graduating in June, and she is from, I know, Fort Worth. Is that correct? Somewhere in Texas. And let me tell you, I have worked with many student government presidents. Catherine is a born political leader. I will make the fearless prediction that in 10 or 15 years, you will see her in the headlines as an elected official in this country. Megan Marshall, from our graduate student government. Where is Megan? Oh, right back there. And she is a PhD student in physics, and her area of specialty is computational astrophysics. When I asked her what that means, she said what she does is to study black holes. I said, oh, black holes, like the university administration, that's a black hole to everybody. No, it's a black hole in the universe. Jordan Goodman, chair of the University Senate. He is a distinguished university professor in physics. His field is also astrophysics, and you should know that Jordan came here as a freshman, then got his master's degree, then got his PhD, then became a professor, a distinguished professor in physics, and he has been at the University of Maryland for 47 years. That is incredible service, Jordan. Thank you. We have two senior marshals. Those are the staff who oversee the student marshals. Marcia Gensler-Stevens, she's the director of Stamp Union, a Terp, got her PhD here, and she's been working here for 34 years. And the other senior marshal is Sherry Parks, who's a professor of English and dean of the college, associate dean of the College of Arts and Humanities. And then our university marshal, Martha Nell Smith. Where are you, Martha?
I'm right here.
She is a professor of English, and she is a world-renowned scholar of the poetry of Emily Dickinson. How renowned? Well, anybody who knows all 1,789 poems of Dickinson has got to be renowned. And then we have all the deans. I'm going to ask them all to stand up, and they will be recognized. They will introduce themselves, in fact, but they will introduce themselves later on in the program. Will the deans please stand? And now we can all applaud the platform party. Now, at each commencement, we ask a student to speak to the graduating class, and that student is chosen by a committee that takes into account, accomplishments and leadership and so on and so forth. And our commencement speaker, our student commencement speaker this evening is Jacob Lowenstein. Where are you, Jacob? Come on up here. Come on up. So you have to speak closer to the mic. So tell me, what are you majoring in?
I'm accounting and finance.
Accounting and finance. That has a lot to do with your right brain, doesn't it?
Absolutely not. It does not have anything to do with my right brain.
Oh, so you also use your left brain?
That is true.
And so what do you do with your left brain?
I do a little bit of screenwriting.
Like for movies?
Yes,
Have you actually done anything?
I've written 2 feature films.
2 feature films? Will we see them? Are they going to be produced by Hollywood?
Not will they only be produced, but they will be nominated for Oscar-winning original screenplays.
That is the superb spirit, I must say. And so where are you from?
I'm from Chicago,
I mean, Chicago. Where in Chicago?
Skokie, Illinois.
You're kidding me. Skokie, Illinois?
Yes,
My college roommate in my freshman year was from Skokie, Illinois. It's the coldest place on earth. But are your parents and your family here? The Lowenstein family, where are you?
They're right over
Stand
there.
up to be recognized. Wow, you have a big family. All right. Thank you very much, Jake. I can call you Jake, right?
yes, you can.
And we look forward to your...
To the faculty, deans, families, friends, and to the University of Maryland class of fall 2016. Congratulations, we made it. Our hard work and dedication has paid off. To everyone at this university, I thank you for these last 4 years. We, the class of 2016, have had the opportunity to learn from top-notch professors who provided us with countless learning opportunities. And now, we have earned a university degree from an outstanding institution. Whatever our degree major, what we have experienced and learned here has changed the way we understand our world and has provided us with a different perspective than the one with which we first came to this university. For example, the newly minted historians will look at the present-day events in light of their knowledge of the past. The environmental scientists will understand the university's green campus efforts as a response to climate change. And the civil engineers will look at the construction on campus and appreciate elements of structural design. Today, I would like to share with you how what I have learned during my college career influences the ways in which I view the world. I'm a business major, and I studied accounting. One of the things I have learned is that publicly held companies must release a document called a balance sheet. On a balance sheet, a business lists its assets on one side and its liabilities and equity on the other. An asset is anything that creates value, such as equipment or real estate. A liability is what the company owes, such as a bank loan. And equity is someone or something who has invested in the business. The key to the balance sheet is this: assets must equal liabilities plus equity, hence the term balance sheet. In short, a balance sheet shows the health of the business and the stakeholders and debt holders of the business. I have come to realize that I can apply the concept of the balance sheet to my own life. What are my assets, or what makes me valuable? Which of my assets are short-lived, such as that big cash graduation gift waiting for us after the ceremony is over? It's all right. Other assets last for a longer time. And today, We are about to receive a long-term asset, our university degree. How did we acquire this long-term asset? What are its accompanying liabilities, the obligations? What are the equities, those who have invested in us? We have been fortunate enough to go to college. Our family and friends have put time, encouragement, and their hopes in us. The university invested in us as well. The faculty devoted their energy and expertise to each of us throughout our time here at Maryland. These investors have taught us what we need to know to earn our degree. Most likely, others have provided equity to make the road to a college degree easier for each of us. These individuals believed in us, and more importantly, have decided that each one of us is a good investment. So what does this concept of a balance sheet bring to our understanding of the significance of this occasion today? Now it's time for us to reflect upon the implications of what we learned at the University of Maryland as we move on to the next chapter of our lives. To be clear, our asset is our college degree. We can all agree on that, but our liabilities and equity are the product of others' investments in us. To be true to the balance sheet, liabilities and equity are our responsibility. As I leave the university, I do not want to use my college degree solely for my own financial benefit. My responsibilities include working to create value in this world. After many years of college and thousands of dollars invested in our educations, we should acknowledge and thank our investors. We pay them back by using our newly acquired long-term assets in the service of those who come after us and make the world a better place for the next generation. How might we invest in their futures? This is a question each of us will have to answer on our own. But keep in mind, as you answer this question, to whom much is given, much is expected. I am honored to be graduating with all of you today. Take some time to savor this new asset. We have accomplished something few people in this world ever do. And then, when the graduation parties are over, joyfully attack those liabilities and equity with every asset that you got. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jake, for your very thoughtful reflections on the balance sheet of life. The Maryland Wind Ensemble, conducted by Craig Potter, will now perform the Florentiner March by Julius Fuchek. Thank you, students of the Maryland Wind Ensemble and your conductor, Craig Potter, for that rousing and poignant performance. I can only say that we at the University of Maryland are so proud that we have such talented students here. You greatly enrich our cultural life, and you touch us with your art. A special committee made up of students, faculty, and staff selects our commencement speaker. To introduce our commencement speaker this evening is Megan Marshall of the Graduate Student Government, and you already know what she does. She looks into and explores black holes.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, Mr. Dave Baggett. He is a graduate of Maryland's Computer Science and Linguistics programs. Using his knowledge of these disparate fields, he worked to create a multilinguistic transliterator. Ever since then, he has cultivated a broad range of interests, using these to advance many aspects of everyday life. His career has been defined not by a narrow field of study, but by a pursuit of innovation and creativity to improve any arena in which he notices a need. This pursuit has led him to found several highly influential companies. He developed the video game Crash Bandicoot, which was not only incredibly popular, but also changed the face of video game graphics. He changed the way we all travel when he worked on the software used to create and compare airline prices used by Orbitz.com and now owned and used by Google. Today he works as the founder and president of ARCODE Corporation, creating products to improve email security, a topic we've all heard a lot about recently. Mr. Baggett's career has been a wonderful example of the possibilities that open up when one has a mindset of applying a focused skill set to a broad range of interests, rather than staying in any specific field. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dave Baggett.
Well, following up on one thing that Jake said, I can promise you that your investors are very proud of you, as are we all. You've made Maryland a world-class university with a global reputation for excellence. So I want to thank you on behalf of all Terps everywhere for everything you do for Maryland. Now, I'm actually not that much older than you. I don't even have gray hair yet, although you can't tell. It's the hat. But to give you a little perspective, let me tell you a bit about how amazing your world is to me. And I'm not going to go on about how we didn't have shoes and we had to walk to school barefoot. It's not going to be like that. But think about your phone. That device in your pocket is more powerful than the most powerful supercomputer in 1985. And that computer, the Cray 2, filled a room and cost $30 million. The CPU in my first desktop computer in the 70s had 8,500 transistors in it. The CPU in your phone has over 1 billion. Did you even know you own 1 billion of something? You do. That happened in less than 2 generations, less than 40 years. But as amazing as these quantitative changes are, it's the qualitative things that really strike me. For your entire lifetimes, and I just realized this when I was writing this, for your entire lifetimes, search engines have made all of human knowledge available to you instantly. In 1992, if you had a question, pretty much tough luck. You're not going to know the answer. Unless you happen to know an expert personally, or you found the right dusty volume in the Library of Congress. And you always know where you are. You have no idea how awesome that is. 1992, you had to use a paper map to get places. It was horrible. And you've always known when storms are coming. Meteorological events never surprise us anymore. Wasn't like that at all in the 90s. And I say this not to suggest that you have it easy. You definitely don't. The world is more complex and difficult to navigate than ever. No, I say this because I've seen how rapidly it's all happened, and because I know, to use a term from the 2008 financial crisis, how leveraged we are. Search engines only work because we have a functioning power grid that has enough energy to supply it. But the power grid is dangerously antiquated and vulnerable. GPS and weather prediction only work because of a network of satellites. But orbital communication could be disrupted by a natural event or war. And while a global network of computers that knows everything about you makes a lot of everyday things easy, it also makes you vulnerable to theft, exploitation, harassment, surveillance, not just from rogues in your local town, but from anywhere in the world. And with the next big leap, artificial intelligence, your car will mostly drive itself. Your phone will mostly understand you when you talk to it. And computers will be better at many things that we now think of as human tasks than humans. Okay, look, I'm not a Luddite, and I don't think you should be either. But to my mind, all this is happening awfully quickly. And it feels a bit like it's built on sand. So I think you all need to ask hard questions of the corporations that are driving all this innovation and hold them to account. They're mostly run by people my age. But let's be honest, when we're all dead, you're still going to be here to live in the world that we're creating. So don't let technology become the Soma from Brave New World that keeps you addicted and complacent. I do have one specific favor to ask of you, and that is that you make time in your lives to study history. You're all scientists, mathematicians, business people, architects, policy experts, journalists, and all, by all means, work hard at those things and become great at them. The world needs more thoughtful experts at these fields. But recognize that this, the only world you know, of liberal democracy, of global interconnectedness, of instant access to information, of decreasing cruelty and expanding liberty, this is a historical rarity. Do not assume these things will continue unabated inexorably. Make an effort to study the key moments in history. Learn to recognize the recurring patterns over the millennia. You have the greatest access to historical knowledge of any humans ever. Endeavor to repeat our mistakes the least as well. In case... Now, we don't want to go over the time limit. In case this all seems a little abstract, I'm going to give you a specific starting point, an event in world history that I think you should know about. What happened in approximately 1177 BC is one of the most significant events in world history, and I bet the vast majority of you have never heard of it. Thanks to a new book by historian Eric Klein, who happens to be in the audience tonight. He's an archaeologist at GWU, and his daughter Hannah is a senior at Maryland this year, graduating in the spring. He wrote a really interesting book, also called 1177. And thanks to this book, we have a startlingly detailed picture of what happened over 3,000 years ago. And while it's perilous to draw parallels glibly to our own time, some similarities should certainly give us pause. The world known to the Mediterranean cultures in 1177 was geographically vast, highly literate, deeply interconnected, remarkably tolerant, and for lack of a better word, globalized. I didn't know the world was a globe, but it was still globalized. So we know the Egyptians were around then. This is the time of King Tut and Exodus from the Bible. But the Egyptians actually formed sort of a G8 with 7 other kingdoms. The Minoans, the Mycenaeans, the Trojans, the Hittites, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, and the Mitanni. These kingdoms established sophisticated diplomatic and trade relationships. They built cities with incredible architecture, possessed surprisingly advanced technologies, and sophisticated writing systems. They even had ice to cool their drinks in the summer, but only if you were really important, and with the caveat from a text that survives to this day, that you had to wipe the dirt and dung off your ice before you dunked it in your drink. Yikes. This period was part of the Bronze Age, and many of you probably know that this eponymous metal is an alloy of copper and tin, and was much harder than anything else known at the time. Now, it's possible to make bronze with copper and arsenic. The problem is that kills you. So pretty much tin was what you needed. And so as you can imagine, copper and tin were incredibly important. Good news is there was a great deal of copper in Cyprus, which was basically the middle of the world. But tin was only found in a few places, like faraway Afghanistan. So it's not a stretch to imagine tin sourcing policy occupying the minds of Bronze Age rulers in much the same way that oil policy drives realpolitik today. The critical role of tin in weapons production led to an intricate, far-reaching, and ultimately fragile trade network that spanned the known world. Of course, trade brought people together like never before, and the intermingling of cultures and languages likely raised the level of literacy, general knowledge, and tolerance considerably. So given how well the global system was functioning at the height of the Bronze Age, it was probably scarcely imaginable to its inhabitants what was to happen next. Astoundingly, within 40 years, the entire system collapsed. Of all the kingdoms, only one survived at all, Egypt. And it was so diminished that it took 300 years to recover. All the rest of the G8 were completely destroyed. Virtually every major city in the known world was not just destroyed, but abandoned. Literacy rates plunged, and the world entered an extended dark age, far worse than what followed the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. In his book, Dr. Klein examines some of the contributing factors to this alarmingly rapid and deep decline, and I think you'll agree, many of them sound awfully familiar to 21st century ears. First, a climate change occurred. We know from pollen core samples that a severe and extended drought caused widespread crop failure throughout the known world. There was pervasive famine, discontent in the affected areas, exacerbated by overpopulation. This led to revolts, military defections, and mass migration. Mass migration, in turn, produced widespread warfare. Some combination of the horde of displaced migrants and an enigmatic collection of marauders known now as the Sea Peoples invaded every one of the Bronze Age kingdoms. And we know these weren't just military invasions because we have surviving frescoes showing women and ox carts among the invaders. These were immigrations as much as they were invasions. To make matters worse, a series of earthquakes throughout the region significantly disrupted trade and therefore the supply of tin. Deprived of military hardware, the weakened kingdoms were devastated by their attackers. It was nothing short of apocalypse. It would take the world many, many hundreds of years to return to its Bronze Age heights. Dramatic climate change, a complex and delicately balanced interconnected trade network, a scarce but critical natural resource, a disgruntled populace, a mass migration. Taken together, these created a perfect storm that completely unwound centuries of development and enlightenment. Happened once, could it happen again? And though our knowledge is far greater now, and our technology magical by Bronze Age standards, we can be pretty confident that our human instincts, our failings, are likely much the same as those of our Bronze Age peers. We still have our human tendencies toward tribalism, greed, pride, violence. Were they really so different then than we are now? I hope you will take seriously your obligation as the best and brightest of your generation to study, understand, and internalize the deep lessons of history, because before you know it, you will be the guardians of our global civilization and our way of life. The starkest of history's teachings is that it is deeply foolish to take for granted that things will continue just as they are for very long. without careful stewardship. I hope you'll give it some thought. Congratulations to you all, and God bless.
Mr. Baggett, thank you for that inspiring address. On behalf of the graduating class, we have a gift to help you remember this occasion.
Let's get a picture. I'll stand in the middle. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, David, for your somber remarks. I think to draw parallels between what happened in the Bronze Age and today is very enlightening. And as you were speaking, all I could think of was what George Santayana, a philosopher back, I think, at the turn of the 20th century, when he wrote, "Those who will not learn from history are condemned to repeat it." Thank you for warning us to study from our lessons of history. Now, I learned that I'm carrying how many millions of transistors here? Billions. Oh my goodness. I never knew that. So can we put all these millions or billions of transistors to good use? And do you mind taking a selfie with me? All right.
Which phone do you, if you have a 7, that's probably 3 billion.
Oh, 3 billion.
If it's a 7, yeah.
And please join us. Now, are you good at selfies? Do you have a long one?
She's got to be better than us.
Yeah, better than us, right. So could you please do a selfie? And let's have Dave in the middle. And get the audience, please.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, and I will tweet it as soon as I sit down. And you can follow it. It's on President Lowe, and I will also Facebook it later. Now, I would like to call on Wanda Alexander, President of the University of Maryland Alumni Association Board of Governors. She is the CEO of her own company, Horizon Consulting, that does consulting for government agencies and commercial banks. And when she was invited, this is what she said about her experiences as a TERP, about her successful business career. She said, quote, "Maryland poured so much into me and pulled so much out of me at the same time." Ms. Alexander.
Ooh, and it's still pulling. I mean, Mr. Baggett, I was gonna go home and have a hot toddy and put my feet up and relax, but now I'm gonna be on Google and trying to find 1177. I'm still learning, still in Maryland, still learning. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy for you guys. Can you just give yourselves a hand? So happy for you. I want to thank President Lowe for reminding me of my remarks, because Maryland did pull a lot out of me. It gave me a lot, and I left here fearless, and I'm still fearless, and I hope the same for you. It's an honor for me to be here to officially welcome you, this awesome class of 2016, into the Maryland alumni family. Beginning today and for the rest of your life, you will be part of an amazing network of powerful, eclectic, fun, gorgeous, handsome, hardworking alumni. We are more than, thank you for that, we are more than 300,000 strong. I thought we were over 300. Yeah, we're over 300. It's a whole lot of us. Now, many of these Terps have risen to the highest levels of their industries, launched hugely successful companies, and made groundbreaking discoveries. Some recent examples that I'll share include Paul Davis. He founded the Scott Firefighter Combat Challenge, which over the past 25 years has become the premier measure of firefighter fitness used by departments around the world. The 2016 World Competition was held in Montgomery, Alabama, drew 500 firefighters from 12 different countries. And let's talk about the Terps who were well represented during this past election season. Covering the presidential election for some of the nation's biggest news organizations. Among them were Sarah Murray of CNN, Bonnie Ghosh, and Margaret Tlaib of Bloomberg. And let's talk about Evan Lutz, your fellow Terp, who's founder of the company Hungry Harvest. They won a $100,000 investment on the ABC TV show Shark Tank to expand the subscription-based delivery service that salvages ugly surplus produce and thus reduces food waste. Paul, Evan, and the Terp journalists are just a few examples of University of Maryland alumni who are living up to our fearless legacy. You too, please hear this, you too will one day leave a path of greatness for others to follow. The single first step to such a lasting contribution is to become a member of your alumni association, because we're moving toward being one of the top alumni associations in this country, and you should be a part of that. Our association, our alumni, we are here to serve you, and we're also here to help you stay active through tailgates, performances, happy hours, and career networking events. We're here to help you stay informed through alumni publications like Terp magazines, and because of all the power we have in our phones, we will also be using social media to stay in touch, and we also want to help you stay connected with Maryland and the friends you've made on this campus. So as you leave here, display your degree, or should I say, your long-term asset. Display it proudly and continue the tradition of demonstrating to this world the high-quality education that it represents. In turn, Maryland will continue to make you proud to be a Terp. Be sure to visit our website, send me a little note, and join today and see all that our association has to offer you. And remember, no matter where you go in this life, stay fearless.
Thank you, Wanda, and thank you for your service in leading the 320,000 alumni of the University of Maryland. The late Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall said once, "None of us got to where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps." You graduates are talented, dedicated, hardworking, and we are very proud of you. But talented and dedicated as you are, nobody is self-made. Somebody bent down, helped you put on your boots, taught you how to tie them. It is because of that person or persons, parents, relative, spouse, because of them, you are here today. So I would like to ask you to salute and thank them, and I'll try to choreograph it. We'll do it in 3 phases. So let me go through the 3 phases first. First, I want to ask the parents and family members who are here to please stand up. Not yet, but that's step number 1. As soon as they stand up, I want you, the graduating class, for you to stand up. Face them and thank them for their support of you. And at that moment, the Maryland Wind Ensemble will do something. All right? Parents and friends, please stand up. Graduates. Thank you. Well, there's 2 reasons. One, of course, is I really wanted the graduates to stand up and thank their parents and friends and family. But there's another reason. One of the things I've learned from our Dean of Public Health, who will be up here on the podium very shortly, but she taught me that sitting is the new smoking. So I thought it was important for you to stand. Now, the moment has come that you've been waiting for, the presentation of the degrees. So I'm going to ask each of the deans to step forward one at a time, introduce himself or herself, and also introduce the respective college. And of course, I invite you, the graduates, to stand up and cheer when your college is announced.
So will the graduates of the College of Agricultural and Natural Resources please stand up and be recognized? Let's give them a round of applause. They are few but powerful. Well, my name is Craig Beyruti, and I have the privilege of serving as the dean of the oldest college on campus, the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and I'm honored to represent our faculty and staff on this stage today. Students, you're graduating from an institution chartered over 160 years ago, originally named the Maryland Agriculture College. So we are a cornerstone college of this campus. You may not know this, but the University of Maryland at College Park is a proud member of an elite system of institutions found nowhere else in the world, the land-grant system, where the world's brightest minds have assembled to prepare each of you for an exciting and impactful career. Our college couldn't be more proud of you, our graduates, who have dedicated your lives to eliminate hunger, to protect and conserve our valuable natural resources, and to ensure that we have a roof over our heads, clothes on our backs, and food in our stomachs. There's no nobler profession than those chosen by you, our recent graduates. Congratulations to our newest college alums, and go Terps.
I am Sonia Hurt, and I'm the Dean of the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. Graduates of this college, please stand and let's cheer. Thank you, and congratulations. So let me tell you about our graduates. Our graduates are innovators who seek to improve the built environment. Put differently, our graduates strive to make the world around us. And I don't mean this in the abstraction, I mean this literally. They make the world around us, from brick to building, from neighborhood to city and region. The mission to make the world comes with a great, awesome responsibility. Through their vision and actions, Our graduates improve the public's health and quality of life. They respect diverse cultures and contribute to a prosperous and just economy. And they work hard to preserve the natural environment. As true terrapins, they strive to leave only but the tiniest footprints on our planet Earth. And you know why? Because they know, like you, that good planets are hard to find. Thank you and congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Bonnie Thornton-Dill, and I'm proud to be the Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, where we study and celebrate history, and we're affectionately known as RHU. Graduates from our college are global visionaries and creative problem solvers. They have the skills and talents employers seek in the 21st century because they write well, they read critically, they listen actively, communicate effectively, and think creatively. They are culturally aware and linguistically adept. They are world-wise. And because they're all of these wonderful things, last year's graduates were 95% of them were placed in jobs, graduate school service programs, or started their own businesses. So graduates, you have a lot to look forward to and a lot to be proud of. We are proud of you. And so if you are an RHU graduate, please stand up and cheer. Congratulations.
I'm Greg Ball. I'm the lucky guy who is the Dean of the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences that we know as BSOS. Graduates, please stand. President Lowe, I present to you the next generation of social scientists who will be able to predict with great accuracy the outcome of national elections, predict economic upturns and downturns, the frequency of criminal behavior, the prevalence of mental illness, changes in the land by societies around the world. They will therefore be able to help prevent increases in addictive behavior, social injustice due to class and ethnic background, misunderstandings of the consequences of environmental change. I know we haven't done that well on these things lately. And that's why we need the next generation of social scientists who will get it right. Welcome.
I'm Alex Trianis. I'm the Dean of the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Will our candidates please rise? Will you please rise? Thank you, Jake. Our graduates have been equipped with new experiences, new skills, and new knowledge, including, I might add, a deep knowledge of balance sheets. Thank you, Jake. With these capabilities, they will be fearless leaders, and they will lead companies and other organizations with a global mindset, an entrepreneurial spirit, and great integrity. Congratulations, graduates.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jayant Banavar, the Dean of one of the two colleges that our commencement speaker, Dave Baggett, calls home. We are proud to share Dave with the College of Arts and Humanities and the rest of campus. Will the graduates of the College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences please stand? These graduates are fearless, These graduates are passionate, and these graduates are curious. So they use science to solve some of the most challenging problems facing society. They help us understand our planet and our universe better, and they will develop technologies that we can only imagine today. Congratulations to the graduates of CMNS.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Donna Wiseman. I'm the Dean of the College of Education, and I am so proud of our graduates who teach, lead, counsel, and research in our schools, our universities, and our communities. Our graduates are fearless in promoting learning, teaching, social and emotional development, and they will help the children, the youth, and the adults achieve at life at the highest level possible. So I am very proud to announce the 2016 we're in the winter, the 2016 winter graduates of the College of Education. Would you please stand and be recognized?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dean Darrell Pines of the A. James Clark School of Engineering. Will the graduates please rise? President Lowe, these are the graduates, and Jake, these are the graduates who use their assets, that's correct, their assets, to not only do good, but do well for society. These are the graduates who will solve clean energy, who will provide personalized medicine, who help make us safe and secure. And in fact, Mr. Anderson, these engineers are also athletes. You may have seen them on Teen Ninja Warrior just the other night on Esquire. So these are the graduates that also are athletes, student athletes, who do well both in the classroom and on the field and on television. Graduates, congratulations.
I'm Jane Clark, and I am proud to be the Dean of the School of Public Health. Will our graduates rise? To my dear colleagues, public health, if we are successful, you'll not notice us. You'll be healthy. We will need all of you to help us implement the things we need. We are epidemiologists, we are family scientists, we are behavioral and community health professionals, we are health administrators, health economists, we are health everything. We are environmental health. What did I forget? Epidemiologists, biostatistics, of course, and kinesiology. He stole my line for the second time. In academics, this is called a classic citation, when the president cites you again for your famous public service announcement, but I want to deconstruct it just for a moment. So what does it mean to say sitting is the new smoking? Smoking was the third leading cause of premature death, and now it's sedentary lifestyle. When a 6-year-old came up to me one time to ask me what I meant, he said, "I think it means that watching television causes cancer." I will just say that he learned something in his public health. He knows that smoking causes cancer. And I would just say that sitting, at which we have been doing for some time, is something that when we leave here, get your steps in and make your Fitbit work. Go public health.
Hello, my name is Brian Butler, and I'm the Senior Associate Dean at the College of Information Studies, or UMD's iSchool. Will the graduates in the iSchool please stand? Okay, there you go. The challenge I have this evening is I have to disagree with our distinguished speaker. It is not true that all of human knowledge is available through Google. It is not true that everything is magically available. Google works because of curated collections. History works because of curated collections. Our ability to understand the presidential election works because of curated collections. The ability for businesses to manage customers works because of curated collections. The ability of scientists to discover new things works because of curated collections of data. Whether it is the technology to make information collections possible or accessible, the services in libraries and archives to provide those for our communities, our universities, and our businesses, or the challenges and the technologies associated with managing the millions, billions of photos you have on your phone, one per transistor, I suspect. You are dependent and will increasingly be dependent on the graduates of the iSchool to help you organize, manage, and derive value from that information. Congratulations to our college and our students. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Lucy Dalglish, Dean of the Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Will all graduates of Merrill College please stand and be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of Merrill College gather facts, use words, images, videos, audio, algorithms, data, and virtual reality to tell the stories members of their communities need to be thoughtful, informed members of society. These new journalists will do it thoughtfully, quickly, legally, and ethically. President Lowe asked me yesterday whether or not I agreed with a statement he had heard recently, post-election. He said, "Is it true we are living in a post-truth world?" Well, not if these Merrill College of Journalism graduates hit the streets as reporters, editors, broadcasters, videographers, and communicators. They know the difference between fact and fiction, and they are the journalists who will speak truth to power, enlighten those of us about people in society that have been forgotten. Please join me in congratulating the graduates of the Philip Merrill College of Journalism.
Good evening. My name is Robert Orr, and I am the proud Dean of the School of Public Policy. Will the graduates of the School of Public Policy please stand and be recognized? All right. It's not just the few the proud, it's the very proud. This evening, graduates, as you move forward to continue your work, you stand on the shoulders of giants. This past week, we lost one of our great giants, Tom Schelling, our beloved faculty member who was a Nobel laureate, but recalled by all of our students and faculty as the heart and soul of our school. Tom was known far and wide for helping the world understand the origins of war and peace, climate change, and nuclear deterrence. When I met with Tom last, he said that his greatest joy in life was engaging with our students because they made him think. So graduates, you do stand on the shoulders of greats, your predecessors who sat in the chairs you sit and the professors with whom you studied. But I want you to go forth tonight to make sure that you know you carry and you are building the legacy not only of greats like Tom Schelling, but like everyone seated next to you tonight. Congratulations, Thank you. Go forth and make us proud.
Good evening. I'm Jeffrey Franke. I'm the interim dean of the graduate school. And Dr. Lowe, it is my distinct pleasure, and with great awe and humility, I get to introduce to you the doctoral students from all 12 colleges and schools. Will you please stand? This is the generation of new knowledge makers, and they are leading our world into a better place. Will the students who are receiving master degrees in all 12 colleges and schools please stand as well? What I'd like to say is that you all are lucky you have two deans who will be following you for the rest of your lives and chasing after you for many requests as we go forward. Congratulations, and continue on your fearless journey. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm William Cohen, Dean for Undergraduate Studies. The Office of Undergraduate Studies operates programs that reach every student on this campus. We oversee the Honors College, College Park Scholars, the Academic Achievement Programs, Letters and Sciences, and many other programs that extend across the whole university, including the General Education Program, through which all undergraduates take classes in a variety of areas. Today, we recognize those graduates for whom the 90 majors offered at this university did not suffice. These fearless students designed their own rigorous interdisciplinary majors in the Individual Studies program. Would the bachelor degree recipients in Individual Studies majors please rise to be recognized?
Good evening. I'm Babak Hamidzadeh, the Interim Dean of Libraries. Would all the students who ever went to the libraries or used library materials anywhere, please stand? Don't let me down now. All right. Excellent. We consider all of you our students. And I think my colleagues have spoken to the value of information and curated collections and authoritative and authentic information anywhere, any place, just at the right time. So I don't need to say any more other than to congratulate you and hope that you remain a Terp for life. Thank you.
Thank you, Deans. It's great to see the energy and enthusiasm in our graduates for the majors that they have studied. So finally, the moment you've been waiting has arrived. The time you are officially authorized to receive your degrees. Now, primarily perhaps for the benefit of friends and family, as we bestow these diplomas, and in a moment the provost will come forward to announce all of these diplomas, let me just take a minute to explain the meaning of diplomas. When you were in high school and you thought that you knew everything that there was to know, that's when they gave you a high school diploma. Then you came to college, and then it dawned upon you how little you actually know and how much more there is to learn. And when that realization dawned upon you, that is when you earn a bachelor's degree. And if you hang around a little bit longer, and it finally occurs to you that not only you know very little, but your professors know very little, that is when we bestow upon you the PhD degree. After all, what is education but the progressive discovery of our own ignorance? And as the poet Yeats said, education is not the filling of a pail. Education is the lighting of a flame. It is igniting a passion for learning that will last a lifetime. And if we did our jobs well, and our faculty do their jobs very well. You will be learners for life. So in a moment, I'm going to call Provost Rankin to come forth and present the candidates for the degree. I assume you all know what a provost is, right? The provost is the chief academic officer of the university. And those of you who are curious and are interested about history will wonder, well, where did the term provost come from? Well, I did a little bit of research into the origins of the word provost. And I thought I would share it with you, because after all, she is officially presenting you for these degrees. It turns out that the word provost first appeared in the English language in 1600, when William Shakespeare wrote the play Measure for Measure. And in that play, the person who was in charge of the local jail, what today we call the warden, was called a provost. So I've been wondering, how is it that from over the past 400 years, somebody who is the head guard of a prison becomes the chief academic officer of a university? But be that as it may, I introduce to you the chief academic officer of the university.
Thank you, President. Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculties of the schools and colleges, and in recognition of the successful completion of all degree requirements, I request that you confer upon these inmates the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Landscape Architecture, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, Bachelor of Science, Master of Applied Anthropology, Master of Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Chemical and Life Sciences, Master of Community Planning, Master of Education, Master of Engineering, Master of Engineering and Public Policy, Master of Finance, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Health Administration, Master of Historic Preservation, Master of Information Management, Master of Journalism, Master of Landscape Architecture, Master of Library and Information Science, Master of Music, Master of Professional Studies, Master of Public Health, Master of Public Management, Master of Public Policy, Master of Real Estate Development, Master of Science, Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy, as appropriate in each case. Will all candidates for degrees please stand? Congratulations. Go Terps.
I am pleased to accept the faculty's recommendations under the authority granted by the state of Maryland to the Board of Regents of the University System of Maryland, and by the authority that the board has delegated to me. I am delighted to confer upon you, the candidates, the degrees as appropriate in each case. So please join me in one more round of applause for our graduates tonight. I would like to ask Jacob Lowenstein to come to the podium and lead our graduates in the long-standing tradition that recognizes your receipt of degrees.
On the count of three, please follow me in the tassel switch from the right to the left. Please. 1, 2, 3.
You may be seated. Now, we have many family members and parents, friends here. I'd like to ask, how many of you in the audience who are here this evening, how many of you attended, I didn't say graduate, attended the University of Maryland? Would you please stand up? Wow. I would say that's what, 1/3? 1/3 approximately? So what do we do about the other 2/3? Well, by the authority vested in me as president of this university, I don't know if I'm formally, I will simply appropriate that authority. Is that okay, Mr. Chancellor? I hereby appoint you honorary terps. Now, in a moment, Mr. DeMarcus Bold and the Maryland Wind Ensemble will lead us in the singing of the alma mater. And those words are found on page 5 of your commencement program. But I would like you to lead you in a recitation of the words of our alma mater. And when I raise my arm, I ask you to join me and yell loudly, so loudly that the roof of Xfinity Center will shake. I ask you to yell Maryland, all right? Hail, alma mater, hail to thee. Steadfast in loyalty, we stand for love for the black and gold. Deep in our hearts we hold. Singing thy praise throughout Maryland forever. Go Terps, go! Would you please stand now for the singing of the alma mater led by Mr. Bolt. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, DeMarcus. Please be seated. We come to the conclusion of the 2016 December commencement exercises. Let me consult my watch. It is 7:36. We started at 6:05, and I promised the senior marshals, didn't I promise you yesterday, that we will finish in under 2 hours, because sitting is the new smoking. This must be a record. We are completing commencement in far less than 2 hours, or we will. So I will ask the audience to please remain seated until the faculty and the platform party has recessed. And I would like to remind you that smaller, more intimate commencement ceremonies at the college or departmental level will take place tomorrow. And to the graduates and to your family and friends, let me invite you, if you would like, to come to the pavilion. The pavilion is that direction. You go up one floor. That's the small gym. That's where wrestling and volleyball take place. And I will be there. I will be there to shake your hand, to congratulate you in person. We can do a selfie together. We can do a selfie with your parents. And of course, I will give you a turtle pin. And I will also give it to your parents. For those of you who don't know about this, the parents, this is a special pin. It only costs 76 cents. But you can only get it from the president. So its value is incalculable. And if you want a sense of how much it's worth, go to eBay. Because some students have put it for sale, and the last time I looked, it was going for $17. But if you get one, please don't put it on sale. So, as you know, about a week or 10 days ago, I tweeted asking you to tweet me and describe your college experience in exactly 6 words. Now, and I promise you that I will, read them. So I got scores of responses, and I'm only going to read a handful, because I think they speak to the heart. These are students telling, as only students can do in 6 words, their experience at the University of Maryland. And I think it would be best if I simply mention the first name of their handle. First, Jessica. 6 words. This campus changed me for good. Molly. Lots of laughter, lots of learning. Anita. I explored. I learned. I transformed. Randall. I grew up so much here. Sari. I leave Maryland a better person. And this one person whose handle is Bearded Engineer, whoever he is. And my guess is he's a civil engineer. And he's commenting about all the construction and noise and so on that's going on campus. He writes, 6 words. Construction on campus, construction of mind. There's some deep philosophy here somewhere. Panay writes, fastest 4 years of my life. And then 3 somewhat plaintive ones, and I'll conclude with those. VP, he writes, I'm a kid. Life's a nightmare. And Chris tweeted, I don't want this to end. And finally, okay, Haley, don't make me leave, dear Wallace. So let me simply conclude by saying to okay, Haley, and the rest of you, you need to leave. You need to leave because society and this country needs you to go out into the world. As you have heard from this platform earlier, to do well for yourselves and to do good for society. For those of you who were here as freshmen, if you remember, probably not, but at freshman convocation, I asked you to remember this number, 1 in 1,000. I asked you to remember that number, and I'm repeating it this evening, because only 1 in 1,000 people on this planet has the privilege and the opportunity of a college education. You have, as Jake said, acquired a valuable asset, a college degree, that over the course of your lifetime will be worth $1.2 million more on average than if you did not have a college degree. But that asset came because other people invested in you. The state, donors to this university, your parents and your family. So as you start your lifelong journey, and I want you to go out and start that journey, to do well in your career and in your life, and also to do good, to help others, to make a difference, to give back to a community that has given you so much. Because the ultimate measure of your education is not your learning and your skills, it is who you become as a result of that learning. It is your application of that knowledge and those skills for the causes of justice and compassion and service in a world that is greatly in need of these blessings. America is great because Americans do good. Hubert Humphrey once said that the moral test of a society is how it treats people in need. You do good when you help those in the dawn of life, the children, those in the twilight of life, the aged, and those in the shadows of life, the poor, the vulnerable, and the oppressed. You do good when you lend your talents and your time for the struggle for fairness and equality for all Americans, so that in the words of Martin Luther King, someday freedom will ring from every mountaintop and justice will roll down like a mighty stream. You do good when you expand the boundaries of inclusiveness so that the diversity of our nation becomes a source of transforming richness and strength rather than a source of division. You do good when you are stewards of God's green earth rather than its despoilers. Because you, the millennial generation, you are the first generation that will have the full impact of climate change. And you are the last generation that can do something about it. You do good when you help bring our divided country together, when you help all of us, all Americans, to live up to the motto of the greatest seal of this republic, E pluribus unum, one formed from many, unity in diversity. And when you help us carry out in our lives the pledge that we recite when we salute the flag, because it represents one nation, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. Class of 2016, if you go out, do well, and do good, if you combine when you combine your passion with compassion, there is no problem that our nation cannot solve. There is no challenge that America cannot meet. Go forth to do well and to do good. Godspeed, and God bless you.